Welcome and thanks for joining me for Pathfinder Kingmaker. Just finished up here at the Inconsequent Debates with Jubilost and Lindsay. We're going to run back to Tuskdale and speak with Jubilost, and then we're going to try to knock out some of, if not all of the companion quests that we have sitting in our journal. We need to take Lindsay to find her former professor, and then we need to deal with Knock Knock and some goblins that are causing problems up here at Oleg's. And we've got Harim's group here at the Dwarven Fortress we need to check out. We are really close to Oleg's, but I think we'll have to head back to Tuskdale, even though it's an extra day. We'll head back and swap party members and then head out again. It looks like we have a full set of items here to trade with the storyteller. He's got a story about the fallen soldier that he's ready to share with us. I feel the damp cold of a dungeon, weapons clinking. I smell blood and soldier's footcloth. Gross. There's a dull pain in my muscles and a weariness, an endless weariness on the verge of desperation. 10,000 gold, 1,800 experience, and story. I am a Cyclops, a soldier of the 19th Unbending Legion of the Golgan Empire. We travel the Darklands with the mission of clearing the middle levels of the southwest sector of Serpent Folk. Over the course of the mission, we've lost a third of our contingent. Our rations run low and our morale lower. I've heard several soldiers secretly tell each other they've lost any hope of returning home. But I stand strong. I'll endure whatever I must to return home alive for the sake of my wife and child. But each new march, each new battle dims the thought that I'll ever see them again. I pray for the sun's protection and guidance, but can the great luminary even hear me down here? Golgan? I thought the Cyclops Empire was called Coloran. Coloran? Never heard of it. The storyteller's face twitches and his normal voice returns. Coloran was founded by Golgan refugees several centuries later. As for why there were refugees at all, well, we'll learn that soon enough. The storyteller's face relaxes again as he returns to the story. Go on. Our mission continues. We've lost half our contingent, but we still have no orders to turn back. The soldier's desperation is becoming open indignation. If we were outside in this situation, I'm convinced half the unit would have deserted by now. But here we are and there's nowhere to run. I listen to the soldiers talking and I don't like what I hear. This underground hell has changed them. They don't look to the luminaries for help anymore. Rumor has it that some of them have secretly begun praying to the Serpent Folk's gods. Worse than barbarism, this is pure insanity. But wasn't this mission itself insane in hindsight? What beings do the Serpent Folk worship? I don't know and I don't wish to. Who could possibly be worthy of worshipping in these fetid catacombs where sunlight can never reach? Devils or demons, if I had to guess. We've seen some of their unholy shrines and they were enough to make even seasoned veterans sick. Flayed skins, bowls of blood and entrails, bowls of blood and entrails, altars made of bones, and this done to their own kin, to other Serpent Folk. I can't imagine what they'd do to their captives. Did you kill many Serpent Folk? I think so. I don't know the exact numbers. That filth doesn't practice honest combat. They move through secret passages to ambush us, attacking from behind or above or below. We've decimated many of their nests, but they still keep coming. Go on. The Legion rebelled. An officer caught some of the soldiers offering sacrifice to the Serpent Folk's gods, and he ordered them arrested and executed. But he had no idea how deep the contagion had spread. Many soldiers refused to follow his orders. The group stood facing each other, swords bared. Loyalists against traitors. I should stand by my commanding officer, die beside him as a loyal soldier of the Empire. But I'm scared. Oh, son, I am so scared. I don't want to die here underground. I want to see my wife and son again. I couldn't say a single word. I couldn't even move while they butchered our commanding officer and the soldiers who remained loyal to him. But that couldn't save me from what happened next. They declared the slain as sacrifices to the Serpent Folk's gods. and each of us had to taste the flesh of the sacrificed or share in their fate. Salty blood runs down my lips. I choke down slimy meat and clap my hands to my mouth to keep myself from puking. Sun and moon can't help us here, and I raise my prayer to new gods. My legs won't hold me, so I kneel, and I feel them. I feel they're here with me. They stand around with me, their cold palms on my forehead, and my fear subsides. I'll return home. Isn't that what I was praying for? Won't you end up executed for treason? Not if they never learn of it. We all agreed on the story we'd tell our commanders when we returned. Our operation was successful. The Legion suffered heavy losses. The commanding officer was killed in action, so the next in command took his place and ordered us to head back. We did. That's all. Do you still sacrifice Cyclops? Just once or twice. Now we try to capture serpent folk alive and sacrifice them instead. I've even developed a taste for snake meat. The underground gods turned away from that scum. Their new followers are far superior. Such power and glory these new gods can bring to the Empire. We could even challenge Aslant himself. Go on. On the upper levels, we rejoined the main force of our army. We reported the cleansing operation as a success. No one doubted our story of the officer's glorious death, not that I'm surprised. It seems our legion wasn't the only one to accept the protection of the underground gods. Some soldiers even pray to them openly, and our superiors turn a blind eye to it. Finally, we make it back to the surface. I breathe fresh air deep into my lungs. Like a crimson eye, the huge ball of light glares down on me from the sky. I shut my eye, for I'm no longer used to sunlight. Tears run down my face. No matter, it's all right, I'll be home soon. I must thank the gods for my safe return. Maybe my son would make a good sacrifice. What happened to Golgon after that? As so often happens, while the serpent folk may have lost the war with the Cyclops, they won victory over their souls. Soon, dark cults spread throughout the Golgon Empire, replacing the traditional worship of celestial deities. Sacrifice of Cyclops, public tortures, and ritual cannibalism became commonplace. The Empire began to decay. How was Coloran founded? Seeing the Empire dying, some Cyclops fled to what is now known as Eobaria. They hoped to preserve the culture of old Golgon, to build a new country free of the dark cults. But as before, the contagion was already too deep. Coloran proved to be just a lesser copy of Golgon. And then the Earthfall came. Skies have fallen down, ending the Cyclops civilization along with so many others. Thank you for the story. Your stories are amazing. You make it sound as though you're actually there in the moment. The storyteller nods. I gained this gift after I lost my eyes. When I touch relics, I can feel the thoughts and emotions of those who previously owned them. If the emotions are strong enough, I can even see the events that left those impressions. Okay. Here's Jubilast. Let's see what he has to say about the debate. Cain, I never properly thanked you for your help at the inconsequent debates. I'm happy to do so now. I hope you don't think me entirely ungrateful. Have you figured out anything about that riddle? The host's answer to your question about the gnomes? Not quite, but I'm working on it. I'll certainly inform you of my findings. I must admit, such an answer is quite in the spirit of the Fae. It must lead somewhere, and I will find the trail. I was surprised that you didn't want to be freed of the Zottenroppel's spell. Why did you willingly suffer it? Jubilast locks his hands behind his back. Well, you see, I understand well what the bleaching is. What a fatal effect it has on gnomes. Those poor fellows were acting like that for no darker motive than desperation. Their foolish jokes allow them to live just a little bit longer. Do you see? I don't mind becoming the joke myself for a while, of course. And not if my life was being threatened. It lets someone live a couple days longer. Oh, fine. So you let them continue their prank to help them? That's a worthy act. Stop or you'll make me blush. Jubilast folds his hands over his chest with a contented look. Alright. Are we done talking about the debates? Remind us how the riddle went again. Okay, we don't need to read that again right now. Something to do with Candlemere, though, eventually. Okay. So that is finished up. One thing off our list. So we're going to grab... I think we'll grab Lindsay and Knock Knock and head... Try to take care of both of these. Let's see, this one. Turncoats and Knock Knock and the Trouble with Goblins. The Old Sycamore is kind of on the way to Oleg's, so hoping we can take care of both of those. We've got some people to level up, so we'll take care of that here before we head out. We got Alvar leveled up and picked up Weapon Focus for Heavy Pick, and that's about it for him. We got Bruin leveled up and picked up a few new spells. We get some sixth level spells here, so I did take Summon Nature's Ally 6 here, especially when we're doing these things with some companions who are low level. In case we need a little help here with damage, we've got that. We may eventually swap that out for Stone Skin Communal, but that does take the Diamond Dust, which we don't have very much at the moment anyway, so I think this will help us more immediately. And then picked up Inspiring Recovery, which is an option for bringing back to life a party member who is recently deceased, and Chains of Light, another way to paralyze an enemy. We also added a second Vine Trap here. I replaced our Raise Dead spell here, again, because of the diamonds required for this, which we don't have at the moment, so it doesn't do us any good. And then added Breath of Life here, which is a way that we can also bring back someone who's recently died. And that's it for him. We also got Lindsay leveled up, and we're going to start right up here to Old Sycamore. We made it here to Old Sycamore. We just need to find Lindsay's group. I think maybe they're up around this way. We've got heavy rain at the moment. Here we go. Aish the Free Shepherd. A group of young boys and girls play their lutes as a horde of centipedes surround them, swaying their horns and hissing to the tune. A fat mite stands nearby, listening to the strange concert with a blissful smile. Muzak, fine, play. Have mercy on them. Look at their fingers, they're bleeding. An old gray-haired man begs the mite from among the musicians. Who can't play can be food, sweet pedicants. No want be food, keep play. Alright, get out of here before I cut your centipedes to pieces. Hey, why cut? Why so angry? Enough. Go, sweeties, go, honeys. Nobody here likes us. That's right, get out of here. Amaya leveled up. Cool. Look who's here, Lindsay, and is this his grace? Praise all the good gods. You made it just in time. A bit longer and we'd have been done for. Not to change the subject, but I've looked through some of the books you've printed. I admit the books weren't quite to my taste, but the students seem to love them. I'm glad you're finally realizing your dream of running your own publishing house. Lindsay, teacher, I'm so glad to see you. I can't believe that talentless hack Iravetti kicked you out of the academy. I wish everyone could see what a philanthropist and patron of the arts he really is. His tricks could make up a whole book. You know, Lindsay, that's not a bad idea. I know many details of just how much harm the king brought upon his own academy. If you find yourself with time between adventures, I would be happy to sit down and write such a book with you. All the more so now that you have your own printing house to print it. Seriously? You want to work on a book with me? Of course I'll find the time. Let's set off for the capital as soon as possible. I can't wait to get started. Hail Baron, now we all... Alandi stops when he sees Lindsay's piercing glare. Is something wrong? You don't even remember, do you? Of course you don't, but I'll never forget. You and your friends poisoned the years I spent at the academy, hiding my things, tearing my books, spilling ink on me, dunking me in the fountain, and now you have the nerve to come here? Maybe you want a job at the publishing house too? What do you want to do with him, Lindsay? I don't know. I'm sorry, teacher, but I can't bear to look at him. Let him go wherever he wants. Restov, Mivan, or Absalom, for all I care. I'll even give him money for travel, just so I don't have to see his face. Lindsay. Eobald clasps his hands before him. I understand that you're hurt, and I'm at fault too. If the other teachers and I had paid as much attention to the students' behavior as we did to their grades... Eobald closes his eyes and takes a deep breath. I cannot change the past, but please find it in your heart to forgive Alandi. He's an exceptional poet. Allow him to atone for his behavior. Bring a little kindness and light to your barony. Teacher, I don't know. Lindsay looks back at you. What should I do? Maybe I should forgive him. Let him write those brilliant verses of his, the scumbag. What do you have to say for yourself, Alandi? What is there to say? We were students. Sometimes we made jokes, pulled pranks. Sometimes they were rude and stupid. I'm sorry, Lindsay. I'm ashamed of my behavior. I never should have done those things to you. You can shove your apologies all the way. You hear the tears in Lindsay's voice. Please, Lindsay, we are at your mercy. Will you truly stoop to revenge? Is this what you took from my lessons? Professor Eobald, is this true? Of course, I would never dare accuse our dear Lindsay of lying, but I know nothing of these accusations. Alandi has always put his best foot forward with me. He's a wonderful poet and musician, and he's always been polite. If not for him risking his life to get us to the capital, we'd all be dead. Alandi, did you really treat a peer this way? For shame, I thought better of you. It's up to you, Lindsay. Lindsay glares at Alandi for a long while, then sighs and looks away. Fine, stay, but you'd better write the best poetry in the world. Got it? I'll be checking. I promise. Thank you. I swear you won't regret it. Let's get back to the capital. I can't wait to start working on the book, teacher. Great. Okay. We actually successfully finished a companion quest. I guess we did okay with Jubilost, but Amiri's thing still kind of stings. Let's get Amaya leveled up, then we'll head back out to the map, and I think maybe send Lindsay back to the capital and for a replacement, and then we'll head up further north to see what we need to do with Knock Knock. We got Amaya leveled up. She picks up Soothing Performance, which is like a mass heal she can use her bard song for. And then she also grabbed Greater Invisibility, which I think will be nice to have a second use of that to put on Cain when we want him to have that. And that's it for her. We sent Lindsay home and grabbed Alora, and now we're going to head up here to Oleg's. So we've got this guy on the road here on the way to Oleg's. This guy that's part of... He's the devil. Or his name's he's a devil. One of the peasants, who is armed with a weapon, jumps up in alarm as you approach. Your Grace. Another peasant takes a moment to quickly wipe the sweat from his forehead. You're just in time. Look who we've caught here. Look at the disgusting creature. He isn't afraid of anything. Hell Knight. Oh wait, no, this is not who I thought it was. I thought this was the guy who talked to us about Kanera, or Kalike. You look upon Knight in pitch black armor, a monstrous snarling snout emblazoned on his breastplate. He doesn't turn to you. All his attention is taken by multiple adversaries. Nonetheless, you hear a muffled voice from under the advisor. Praise Asmodeus. Baron Cain, I presume. My regards. Please accept my apologies for not greeting you as the etiquette requires. I'm a little busy. I would recognize that armor anywhere. What is a Hell Knight doing in my lands? You hear a chuckle from under the visor. I intended to come directly to your court, Your Grace. Unfortunately, I was detained. These degenerates have never before set foot in the Stolen Lands. But there, this devil's spawn was walking right in the middle of the road, and we became so angry. Right, we figured we could gang up on him, but you could help, Your Grace. We're shedding blood for your lands, after all. The Hell Knight seems to not hear his adversaries. I ran into some unexpectedly aggressive local fauna. Luckily, I was prepared for such a turn of events. The stolen lands are said to be full of surprises. Why did you attack this night? Well, you know, they trample everyone whose lands they visit. Wherever there's one, there will soon be 100, in a blink of an eye. They crawl like locusts, with their executions and their laws. The Hell Knight laughs dryly. Of course, savages like these fear laws even more than fire or sword. Listen, Baron, isn't it time to put this bandit trash in its place? You are too soft for such a savage land as this. Identify yourself. Case Barrow, Marelictor of the Order of the Nail of Hell Knights. The warrior pauses. I hail from Varizia, if your grace cares to know. I've come under direct orders of the Paralictor in order to hold negotiations. Yeah, right, keep listening to him. These scoundrels mean to conquer us. That's why they're nosing about, that's why. Wow, does Cain attack his own peasants for breaking the law? I think he does. Wow. The Hell Knight clenches his weapon. Not the fairest trial, but it's acceptable. Please allow me to help your grace. Weeding is our job. Oh boy. Cain, what have you done? Terrible. Alright. Well, I think we'll see Hell Knights again. That's not the first and probably not the last peasant that Cain is going to kill. We made it to Oleg's. Let's see what's happening here. We got goblins hanging around. You stumble across an ugly scene. A ragged pile of goblins. They are hiccuping violently, laughing, then hiccuping again. The air is so thick with alcohol fumes, flies lie dead in the dirt, and an odd vinegar smell as well. It appears the goblins have gotten into Oleg's stock and drank deep of its contents. Barrels lie in splinters around the area, not a single one intact. Cain is not going to be happy about this. Knock Knock surveys the goblin pile, then glances at you with a shrug. No problem here, normal day for tribe. Would be worse if holiday. Is this your tribe? Knock Knock sniffs. Yes. He sniffs again and you suddenly become more aware of the vinegar smell. They've marked this as home. It will be hard to make them leave this home, though. He glances around in disapproval. It much smaller than the capital. Capital would have more room for them, not have to lie in pile. Could be lying down drunk everywhere. He turns to one of the group entwined in the mess. You, runny long legs, why did you stop running? Why make home here? The goblin lifts his head slightly, his tiny eyes blearily red. His legs are indeed long and folded back almost like a grasshopper. Kept getting chased, no place to settle down, got hungry, then caught, then we sent here, and now... Caught by who? Big Shanks, bigger than you. Longlegs blinks and scratches the side of his head with his foot. Fatter, smelled better, big club, was eating sheep. We tried to share his sheep with us by taking one, a small one, in the night while he snore, but we not ask first, so he got mad. After eating half of us, he gets so full he ready to trade. He say if we find him something to wash other goblins down with because they still squirming in his gut, he let us go. We knew a place, here at Post, but had to sample kegs to be sure. Alright, Knock Knock. You need to make these guys leave, or I'll do it myself. Listen, Knock Knock big hero, you do what Knock Knock say, but... Knock Knock frowns, his ear twitching. Tell me where Big Shanks now. When he expect you back? Did Big Shanks follow you? Big Shanks. Big Shanks, here. At that moment, there is another waft of foul air and a shadow falls on the ground. All the goblins in the pile lift their heads at the new arrival, a towering hill giant with mismatched coveralls, a necklace of hands and skulls and a makeshift club, composed of several timbers tied together with rope. He looks very, very angry, not just at the pile of goblins, but the splintered, empty barrels. That him, Longlegs says unhelpfully. Well, it looks like we'll be doing more than murdering a few goblins. Good. The hill giant turns to you as if in challenge, points to himself and gives a rumbling growl akin to guck, then turns to the goblins. His hand clenches on his club and the growl grows louder. He points at the goblins, then points at his belly, the intent clear. The goblins do not respond, not even Longlegs. Their eyes remain wide, frozen. Suddenly, Longlegs makes a high-pitched squeak and points at Knock Knock. He our leader, he a hero, he make us drink everything we promised. Also he made us eat your sheep, eat him and ugly friend. The hill giant snarls, lifts his club, then turns to you and Knock Knock, and thrusts out his chin, pounding his chest and giving a thundering series of grunts that sound like a challenge. Knock Knock blinks. He, Munguk, says not in the mood to share. He says the half-shanks are their guts his to eat. You can understand him? I can. Knock Knock seems embarrassed. Got caught by hill giants once, kept as a toy for their kid, until ran away. Back away, monster, or I'll kill you. Munguk may not understand you, but is keen on catching your intent. He growls and raises his club, then growls again. He can eat them all, for all I care. He says he eats all half-shanks. That includes you. You are half-shank to him. Well, do something about it. Knock Knock hesitates for a moment, then presents an open palm, then taps it with a finger. You suddenly realize he just did what seems to be the goblinoid version of trade. You think he's asking what Munguk want, but not about food, but currency, something of value. To your surprise, Munguk looks sad. His eyebrows collapse and he gives a low grunt. The anger seems to have cooled down and he makes a rumble, staring off into space with a half-lidded gaze. He doesn't seem drunk, merely sad. He gives a grumble, then a sigh, then a low exhaling rumble. Knock Knock nods, listening, then translates, you think. Munguk not happy. He not hungry, just lonely. Says came here looking for mate, to be happy. Knock Knock wrinkles his face in disgust and shivers. Still, he keeps going. But when he come, no wife. Goblins take his favorite half-sheep entrails. Drink the liquor he send them for, and he have nothing. A wife? Really? Sad for him. Knock Knock gives a shiver and a nod, then pauses. Cutting off legs be better than finding mate. Can you tell him to look elsewhere for a wife? Knock Knock shrugs, then emits a series of what passes for rumbles, and he makes a slow sack-shaped gesture in the air, then points to the gate of the fort. Munguk shakes his head slowly and sighs again, giving a low grumble in his belly. Knock Knock shakes his head. No, he said he looked everywhere. Enough of this. Let's kill the beast. Munguk gives a roar as you draw your weapons. You've got an angry giant on your hands.
That is adjourned.
We got the giant with hold monster, so we should be fine here. We should be able to take him out here pretty quickly.
Out of my way! No fear!
And this should take him down. There we go. The goblins seem ready to bolt. You catch Longlegs slowly uncurling himself from the pile, apparently ready to run. You do notice a number of the goblins are looking at Knock Knock with a strange fascination. Dealing with the giant must have impressed them. I'll let you all leave, but if I catch you here again, I'll execute you. Understand? As you start getting confused looks, Knock Knock whispers to you. You hard to understand because you used Longshank's words. Used too many and out of order. Knock Knock steps forward and gives a series of cracking hisses to get attention, and all the goblins stare at him. After their eyes are on him, Knock Knock, his eyes narrowed, goes to each one of them in turn and raps them twice on the head. Hard. They wince, but say nothing, except for one feeble groan from a goblin more sober than the rest. Make great deal with you. You need to go to bigger place, or I hit you again. I show you. The goblins stare blankly at this. Knock Knock sighs. Me big hero, follow me, take you to new place. The goblins nod and begin to untangle themselves, but they are doing what Knock Knock says, some of them rubbing their heads. Knock Knock turns to you. Big hero Knock Knock, take care of them. All good. Where are you taking them? Knock Knock pauses as if he's forgotten what happened a few moments ago, and you realize he has. Capital big enough. Yes, capital. Before you can stop him, he turns to the goblins. All you, go to capital. Knock Knock commands you, go. To your horror, the goblins scamper away, running in all directions, but toward the direction of your capital city. Great. Well, at least Knock Knock will be satisfied with that. Well, things appear to be resolved here at Oleg's, which just leaves us Harim's quest and Kalike. I think what we'll do is swap out Harim now for Knock Knock, and we can head straight to the Dwarven Fortress from here. We picked up Harim, and we're gonna head down here toward the Lost Dwarven Fortress. We'll make a stop at Trade Guard to rest. We made it to the Lost Dwarven Fortress. I feel like there is maybe some fighting involved here, so we put a few buffs on people, and we're ready to head in here. See what's happening here at the Lost Dwarven Fortress. We've got like a golem and dwarves up there on the wall. Help has arrived, hurrah! Praise Torag. So we've got an adamantine golem here. He's coming right back here at Cain. Just totally avoiding our tank that we put out there nicely in front for him. Since that's the case, let's go ahead and use greater invisibility here on Cain.
You've made your choice.
Alright, Cain just ended it right there. That was easy. We're probably kind of over leveled for this. We've known about this for quite a while and haven't come here. The golem freezes. Inside it, something vibrates in harmony, and the dents left by your weapons quickly repair. Harim approaches the metal monster and examines it from head to toe. An invincible idol made of indestructible metal, another proof of our empty pride. Every master wishes to create something that will outlive them, but why? So that their creation will live on a short while before returning to dust with the rest of the universe? Ha, masters, masters. And down he goes. Harim pulls the key. To his surprise, the whole lock comes out of the golem's body along with the key. As Harim stands amazed, the monster falls to pieces as if it were made not of the strongest metal in the world, but of rotten wood. And this crew. Hail to Baron Cain. Praise Torag. One of the dwarves, clearly their leader, a gray-haired man with a massive symbol of Torag around his neck, jumps down from the hillock where the dwarves climbed to escape the golem. He looks at Harim and what he's done, astounded. How? How did you do it? That's impossible. Impossible. I don't know, I don't. Who are you? The dwarf turns to you and bows ceremoniously. Forgive me, your grace. The surprise made me lose all my manners. My name is Yarmold Skeggi, Paladin of Torag and the leader of this group. On behalf of our whole clan, I thank you for your help. And you must be Harim, the priest of Groetus. I've heard a lot about you and the unusual path you've taken. I would like to speak with you. You would like? Well, I wouldn't like to even see you. We have nothing to discuss. This is just what I need. To listen to another sermon about Torag's greatness. The paladin replies to Harim's indignation with a humble bow. I am not so arrogant as to preach to a priest. Your faith is your choice. I am not one to question it. I only wanted to know more about your spiritual journey. In response, Harim only sniffs with contempt. Harim, you've broken metal with your bare hands before. What? When did that happen, Cain? Oh wait, are you talking about the anvil? Yes, I did do that, but why? I asked Groetus what it meant, but received no answer. Harim pensively wraps his beard around his finger. Anyway, are you safe now? Yarmold, yes, your grace. May Torag bless the soil you walk upon. You saved us. The Skeggy clan is in your debt. Alas, we have no treasure to reward you for your kind aid, but that is only temporary, believe me. When we find a way inside the fortress and recover the legacy of our ancestors, you'll see that no one can accuse the Skeggy clan of stinginess. Hirim sneers bitterly. Look at them, Cain. Here they are, true children of Torag. Greedy, conceited, unable to see beyond their own noses. They barely escaped death, and there they are, diving into its maw again, blinded by the glitter of imaginary treasures. I contemplated making them leave, but let us allow them to stay and continue what they are doing. If they are in such a hurry to dig their own graves, let us not interfere. Thank you. I see you've no love for your people or our God. No, don't be so quick to frown. I've no wish to preach to you. But I believe you said you broke the unbreakable with your bare hands. Please tell me about this. I think I have an idea of what power lies within you. The Searing Palm. Hirim's voice sounds dull and lifeless. The magic anvil in the desolate bronze shield fortress desecrated by trolls. It was destroyed by my fist, as if it were made of sand, or wood that had rotted from within, and only waited to be touched, to fall to dust. Yarmold pensively holds his hand upon Torag's hammer, which hangs about his neck. Could it be? Yarmold, what are you talking about? What power hides inside Hirim? The touch of the Unmaker. This is a rare, very rare gift of the gods. It happens once in a generation. I can't say who grants it. Perhaps Torag, perhaps Groatus, or perhaps it comes from some other source we know nothing about. It is the power to give death to things which live on beyond their proper time. Ill things created with a flaw like this golem, desecrated like the anvil, the robust creations of dwarven hands that beg for death but must continue to exist. A dwarf blessed by the touch of the Unmaker can put an end to their suffering. Nonsense. I've never heard of this. If Groatus granted me this power, why do I have to find out about it from some paladin of a traitor god? The god of helplessness and cowardice, a gift of the gods by Groatus, you prove it or you admit you're lying. Yarmold listens calmly to the stream of insults raining down on him from Hirim. When the latter has finally spent his breath, the paladin replies quietly, Yes, I can prove it. Hirim, his words make sense. Maybe what you thought was Torag's curse was actually a gift from the gods, which your kin simply couldn't understand. Hirim winces as if all of his teeth started aching at once, but then nods reluctantly. It is possible, but then Torag and his followers are even more stupid and blind than I thought. Just imagine, Cain, if this is true, the reason for my woe is not a curse, but the simple fact that none of my kin was wise enough to recognize the divine gift. The priest shakes his head and looks at the paladin. You said you can prove your words, Yarmold. I challenge you now. The touch of the Unmaker is not only the power to destroy. He can take the heart from an item, all the love and effort put into it by its maker, by the mercy of Torag. Strike the golem once more, complete the unmaking, and show us its heart. Here we go. Punch that thing. Hirim looks gloomily at the quiet golem, then shrugs and smashes it with his fist. The golem falls to fragments with a pitiful clink. Leaning down to search through the pieces, Hirim takes hold of a shimmering blue jewel. He examines it, then turns to you. The priest's face is sad and baffled. There. A gift from Torag, be damned. So what's next? What do I do with it now? If it's a gift from Torag, then give it to his servant. Hirim hands the jewel to Yarmold. Lost the heart of the golem. Thank you for telling me of my gift, Yarmold, but do not expect it will reconcile me with Torag, or with my people. If you find a way to make good use of it, fine. If not, it doesn't matter. You can keep looking for the entrance, or go back to your mountains, I care not. Yarmold lowers his head. Thank you, Hirim. I will make good use of this gift. I am sorry that everything turned out the way it did, but I respect your decision and won't try to convince you. Farewell. Hirim turns to you. Gifts from the gods, curses from the gods, I'm starting to think it's the same thing. But thank you for coming here with me. I probably wouldn't even have talked to this Yarmold on my own. But now I have much to contemplate. Let us go, Cain. Let us leave these Skeggi to do as they will.
Time for a clever approach.
All right. And just like that, we have cleared up all but one of our companion quests. Let's head back to the capital, regroup, and decide what we're going to do next. We're back here to Tuskdale, and I noticed we have this teleport option here now, so we finished at least 2 of the mage towers now, so I think if we wanted to, we could teleport now to Silvershire over here. We're back in our throne room, and it looks like we've got a Hell Knight visiting us now. A dignified half-elf wearing familiar black armor bows to you ceremoniously. This time, his armor is clean of dirt and blood, and he holds his helmet at his side. It is the first time you see the Hell Knight's face. Your guest has light hair, transparent blue eyes, and scars from 3 claws that once disfigured his face. Greetings on behalf of the Order of the Nail, Your Grace. Our first encounter was most improper, and I dare recommence our acquaintance. The half-elf lowers his head. My name is Case Barrow, and I am here under official orders of my commanding Paralictor. We have heard much of you and your method of rule. It is most unusual for this region. The Order of the Nail knows about your service to law and order. We also know the integrity that imbues all your deeds and orders. Our order greatly values such rulers as you, especially those who are not afraid to weed out barbarity, even in dangerous borderlands like the Stolen Lands. With our deepest respect, I, Mayor Lictor of the Order of the Nail, offer you our aid. Together, by fire and sword, we can tame this land and bring it under the law. What does your help imply? We will deploy our own garrison in your capital. We will gather a squad, train new recruits if necessary. We will make the Hell Knights a symbol of power and law in your barony. Believe me, such an alliance will increase your power 100 times over. Public punishments and executions instill respect in the law, even among the dumbest members of the society. A half smile appears on Case's face. But know this, the Order will never swear fealty to you. We are united by common goals to stamp out the vestiges of barbarity in the Stolen Lands. Our methods are similar and we don't expect any disagreement, but we do not wish to complicate this alliance with oaths of fealty. How would you benefit from an alliance with me? I don't like the direction this is going. Don't think I'm going to like what Cain decides here. Case considers the answer for a while. Savagery must be quelled across the land, at home and in one's own mind. It's a beautiful motto, isn't it? I've lived my greatest years by it. My brothers live by it. The goal of my order is to destroy all threats to civilization, order, and law. We need no divine guidance to serve this mission faithfully. Our minds and our consciences guide us, and they have brought us here to you. You are a beacon of order in lands where once only chaos reigned. I do not know how, but you managed to crush all the forces that opposed you, and you have since then ruled with an iron hand, with no concern that your actions might seem willful or overzealous. The Order values such powerful allies. Give us the right to enforce the laws in your lands, and you can forget about such uncontrollable beasts as those who attacked me on the road. Those minor peasants? I want to know more about your order. The Order of the Nail is one of the oldest among the Hell Knights. Like many others, our order traces its roots to Cheliax. The glory of our knights is so great that the rulers of the lawless and savage Varizia once begged for our help, and we crossed half the continent for an opportunity to suppress barbarity and bring the savages under law. Do Hell Knights obey demons, like others in Cheliax? Case's cheek twitches, but his voice is calm and measured. I will not unburden you of your other delusions about Cheliax, but I will clarify one thing. The only power we answer to is the leader of our order, be he a lictor or a vicar, and the order itself serves only one master, the law. Yes, we draw much inspiration from hell, why not? In the entire world there are no greater rules than those created by the Dark Prince and enforced in his kingdom. Case raises his brows. I myself venerate Asmodeus, but my faith is a personal choice and not the reflection of my membership in the order. But you associate with hell and its denizens? Aren't you afraid to draw the wrath of those who would confuse you with devil worshippers? The fears of the peasants do not concern a ruler. I'm sure you know this well. To fear philosophy is the natural lot of narrow-minded simpletons. All we do is turn theory into reality, but it is only a means to an end and justified by a higher purpose. How does one become a Hell Knight? Through sweat and blood. Anyone who wishes to be worthy of the armor must sacrifice everything that stands in the way of his goal. Weaknesses, attachments, pity to himself and others. I trained like mad, rubbed my hands sore on sword handles. I studied the laws and rules at night, and every day I carved my mind and body to become perfect instruments of the order. Case runs his hand over his face, and his fingers linger for a moment on his terrible scars. I earned my knighting into the Hell Knights in a ceremonial battle against a Barbazoo, one of the denizens of Hell. Everyone worthy of wearing the armor undergoes this ritual. The others become toys for devils, and a disgrace to their families. Why did you become a knight? I was seeking order, calmness, reliability. Those who raise their voices to freedom have rarely seen its ugly side. The half-elf squints and an angry sneer crosses his lips. A half-blood learns to deafen his ears to the witty insults of those who imagine themselves pure, but the fools fall mute when they see a half-blood wearing black armor with the face of a devil on the breastplate. This seems like a really bad idea, but Cain, I will accept the Order of the Nails proposal. Together we will bring these lands to heel. Case lowers his head. So be it. My commanders will rejoice in your wisdom. I will immediately return to Cheliax with this news. We already have a reserve at the ready. I will return to the Stolen Lands with a garrison of Hell Knights, and our mission will commence as soon as we enter your lands. My regards, Baron Cain. I will not be gone for long. Oh, what have we done? Cain. Let's take a look at what's happening here at the Kingdom table. Success with hunting season. Nice. Got some divine. We didn't get anybody put on that one. Triumph with the River Tricksters. Very nice. Got some economy, relations, and espionage for that. Alright. We don't have any new events at the moment. I'm going to take a look at projects and see if there's anything that we want to start up. Alright, I bought a bunch of BP. I'm not sure if this is enough. I think we're getting close to the point where we start getting a random event that just tanks our treasury, and which in turn tanks our stability up here. So I need to start keeping a reserve here in case that happens. We're going to start this up to strengthen Jod's skills as High Priest, which is going to bring us under 500. I can't remember. I feel like it's either 300 or 500 that gets stolen. So we may want to try to keep at least 500 in there. I can't remember what that amount is. We may have to wait until it happens, or I'll have to look back and see what that was. We're also going to start up this project to sell the soul jar from the soul jars from Mordecai's tomb. We get 250 BP for that. It's going to take a month. I think that's it here for now. We've got quite a few things in motion here. That's it. I think next time we may head to Candlemere and look for Tristan. Otherwise, thanks for being here. I really appreciate it. I hope to see you again here with me next time in the Stolen Lands. Bye-bye.